Hello students. Now let us turn to the next topic, that is pricing. We'll see the meaning of pricing. The price denotes the money value of a product or service when we buy. So the term price denotes the money value, how much amount you have to pay. That is what? It is the amount of money a seller is asking for the product or service he is going to offer for sale. So the amount which is being demanded by seller to sell, to offer that particular product or service, the amount which buyers have to pay for the product or service he buys. So in any way, if you see, just turn your perception, you change your perception, you will find the money value which is being exchanged with the buying of product or service from buyer's side, or the money value of a product or service which is being offered by the seller. He is asking for that particular product or service to be sold to the buyer. So that amount is called as price. According to Clark, the price of an article or service, that is product or service, is its market value expressed in terms of money. So this Mr. Clark says, his opinion is, whatever product or service you are going to sell in the market, the price denotes its market value. What value that product, what value that service you are going to get in the market as a seller. So that is called as price. Of course, it is expressed in terms of money. The price reflects the worth. Worth means the value or the rate of a particular product or a service and the amount of money for which it can be exchanged. So any product, its worth or its value is being reflected by price, or any product or service which will be exchanged for a particular amount of money, that amount of money is called as price. So if you see, pricing, it is the process of translating the value of a product or service in terms of money. It is a kind of process. When you are going through the process pricing, it is translating the value of a particular product. It is translating the value of a particular service in terms of money. Pricing involves not simply the determination of a base price, but the terms and conditions of sale also. So the pricing actually involves defining or calculation of the base price, also the terms and conditions while selling it. One example I have given over here, that is transportation costs or the mode of payment, discount, etc. So these things are included in pricing. I hope you are getting it. It is not just the base price, what amount I have spent on producing a particular product, what was the cost of raw material, not only that, but it may include the transportation charges, it may include the discounts given. So all those things are involved in pricing. Yeah, this is the next point, that price is fundamental. It is basic. It is the base for what? To all the marketing efforts. So when we talk about 4 P's, that is price, place, promotion, before that product. So product, price, place and promotion. Out of those 4 P's, this price is a fundamental. It is the base. It is the basic thing for every marketing effort. Price is an important element in the marketing mix. Just now I told you those 4 elements, that is product, price, place and promotion. These are the 4 important elements in marketing mix of product. Price decides or considers largely the sales volume and profit margins. Now, this process of pricing, which determines the price of a product or service, it definitely thinks about, see, it considers, it thinks about, it determines. What it determines? The sales volume. What quantity of a product, a particular goods you are going to sell in the market, it is to be considered. So, more the sales volume, I can give you an example. More the sales volume, prices would be remaining low, because in mass they are going to earn the profit, and then when you are selling, the seller is selling the quantity, the bulk quantity rather, definitely it is going to give him profit, and as well the consumers, they are going to get it in a low price. So it is to be determined. And profit margins, what margins you have to earn out of that particular selling of a product should be decided. 10%, 5%, whatever the margin it would be. Then price structure affects the competitive position and market share of the firm also. So whatever price structure you are going to keep, it is definitely going to lead to change the competition in the market. Suppose you are increasing the prices and still your sale is constant, so definitely your competitive or competitors, associatives, those who are dealing in the same similar product, they have to think upon, increasing the price. Or if you are lowering the price of a particular product or service, the competitors have to think upon that they also they will have to reduce the prices. So the price structure affects the competitive position and the market share of the firm. Market share, how much amount of your products you are selling in the market. I will give you one example. Let us consider a bike. When a particular number of bikes you are selling in the market, that defines your market share. Those many customers, potential customers are with you, or they are trying to buy your product. That is called as your market share. So price structure affects that also. If you lower the price, might be your market share increase. If you increase the price, might be your market share will reduce. So these all things must be remembered when we are going ahead with the pricing process. See, to the consumer, price decides his purchasing power, his affordability, whether he is capable of buying a particular thing, goods or products, services. Okay, it also determines the standard of living. So when a customer you consider, definitely for him the price is determining his purchasing power, his capacity to buy a particular product or service, and the standard of living. Consumers take the buying decisions and allocate their income with the help of the prices of alternative goods and services. See, I'll explain you this in detail, what it means. The consumers change their mind to buy alternative goods available in the market. I am buying a particular bike. Now, in the market, whatever its price is, it's not affordable by me. Okay. So, as per my allocation of income, as per my capacity, purchasing power, okay, what I will do, I will try to find out alternative of that bike. I will try to go hunting some other company's bike which will be affordable to me. So I have explained you there in blues, like in the other words, the consumers change their mind to buy alternative goods available in the market instead of a particular product which is high in cost as per their affordability or capacity to buy. So customers, as I have mentioned in the second point, they might take decisions based on whatever income they are having. Depending upon the income resource, the amount of income they are having, they will try to decide to give, away whatever the choice of them. Okay, they will try to hunt for new things, alternative things in the market Fine? As per their capacity. This point says that the price regulates production. Depending upon the price of a particular product, you may decide on the production. The firms have to decide on production, like they will be increasing the production, or they will be reducing the production rate. Then it also regulates the distribution. I mean, depending upon price, you will have to allocate the area of market in which area you are going to sell it. Whether it will be in town, whether it will be in rural area, where it will be in only the city area or metros. Okay. So price definitely regulates the distribution process also of a particular product or the services, and the consumption in the economy. It also regulates the consumption in the economy. Now there are many products available in the market which are being affordable, can be bought only by the rich people. So there are as many number of products. I can just give you examples of, like a lavish car, okay, then you can say a very nice bike like Java, like Bullet, okay, like Harley Davidson. These products are available, these bikes are available in the market, but are affordable, are only in the reach of rich people. Okay, they can be bought by rich people. So the consumption rate is less. There will be less products produced. There will be less products sold. The examples which I gave you just now, I'll again repeat. Bikes like Bullet, Java, then Harley Davidson, okay. These bikes could be affordable only to few group of people. So its distribution also will be limited in a particular area. Then consumption in the economy also will be regulated. So that is what price regulates: production, distribution and consumption in the economy. Next point is, it talks about the prices of goods and services define largely the prices paid to various factors. Now, which are these various factors? These are the factors of production, and it is in the forms of wages or salaries, you can say, the interest to be paid on the capital or borrowed fund by the firms, then the rent of a particular plant or office or premises, and the profit. So prices of goods and services, they try to define mostly the prices paid to the various factors of production. And which are those factors of production? Again, I will tell you: wages paid to the workers, salaries paid to the staff, the interest paid, I already told you, on interest on the capital formation, or the funds which you are borrowed from different financial institutions, the rent which is being paid, and the profit. This is important aspect. The competition on price weeds out, it takes out, it clears the efficient firms. The inefficient firms. So the firms which are inefficient, which are not organized, which are not highly productive. So the competition of the price may take them out of the market and compels the remaining ones to maximize their efficiency and productivity. The competition on price also encourages the other firms which are remaining in the market to increase their efficiency, to increase their productivity. Otherwise, they will be thrown out. So this is also one of the point in pricing. We should remember this. This is very important aspect. And let us see, we'll turn to the objectives of pricing, why it is needed, what is so good about it. So what are the objectives of pricing? In that, this is introductory part of objectives of pricing. Pricing is not an end in itself, but it is a means to achieve marketing objectives of the firm. Now, when we are deciding on pricing, when we are going through the process of pricing, the process will not get ended. Prices are decided, everything is over, marketing is over. No. Okay, but it is going to go ahead with achieving the marketing objectives of the firm. So the pricing strategy of a firm should be designed to achieve the specific objective. So when the pricing tactics you are making, policies you are making, processes you are defining in pricing of any firm, it should be designed to achieve specific objective. Specific objective, mostly it is regarding the progress and the growth of a particular firm. So that is to be taken into consideration. Like other operating objectives, the pricing objectives are derived from the overall objective. Just now I was telling you, it should go ahead with achieving the specific goal or objective. That means the growth part, the progress part of the firm. Okay, so like the other objectives, operating objectives only, it should be, this pricing objectives should be derived from those objectives of the firm. The practical pricing decisions, that is what the word pragmatic used for. Pragmatic, practical, actual, real decisions require up-to-date knowledge of the trends in the sales and demand. What is the demand of the market? Which kind of products satisfy the customers should be taken into consideration. It should be known to the one who is deciding on pricing. So when practically the decisions are deciding on price, it is required that the person, the manager, should have the knowledge of the trends going on, the fashions going on around, the styles which are existing there in the market, okay, and what is the demand of a particular fashion or trend. Okay, so it should be known to him or her. The objectives of pricing should be unambiguous. This is unambiguous. It should be very, very clear, we can say. That is what the word says. It should be clearly defined, because without clear-cut objectives, without clarity in the objectives, a sound price structure cannot be developed. If the objectives of pricing are not clear, I'll repeat, please understand it what I am telling. If it is not clear, then it cannot develop a proper price structure. So it is needed. That is what the last point talks about. The pricing objectives or the objectives of the pricing should be clearly defined. Fine. I hope you are getting it up till now. We'll turn to the next slide. Yeah, before going ahead, this is also to be noted that the basic objectives of a firm are survival and growth. I think 2-3 minutes before I told you the main objective, basic objectives of any firm. They are survival, staying in the market, and the growth, the progress of a particular firm. The specific objectives of pricing may vary from firm to firm. Yeah, this is also there. Depending upon your small scale enterprise or your medium scale enterprise, okay, large scale enterprise, depending upon your size also, depending upon your capacity of production, the specific objectives of pricing may vary. It depends upon firm to firm. One more point is there existing in that, like even for the same firm, even for your firm only, at different points of time, it may vary. The pricing objectives might vary depending upon the time, the situation. So that is also to be noted. It is very, very important thing. See dear all, most of the firms have multiple pricing objectives. They don't have only one objective of pricing. They have multiple pricing objectives. Now, here there is a list of some of the objectives which they go ahead with. First one is target rate of return. We are going to learn it in detail, definitely, in the next lecture. Right now we will just see it, which are those multiple pricing objectives. Target rate of return. This target rate of return means like how much amount of money you are going to get earn on the capital, on the investment your firm has made. Then the second objective is price stability, keeping the price stable in the market, and then retaining the customers, as well as gaining more customers. That means expanding your market. So that price stability is one of the multiple pricing objectives. Third objective is of pricing, market share. Just now I told you, like to retain the existing customers also, as well as to go ahead with finding out, hunting for new customers to buy your product. Next pricing objective is meet or prevent competition. Either to meet competition or prevent competition. So this is again one of the multiple pricing objectives. When you are deciding on pricing, you need to take care of this. And the last one is profit maximization. How here I can include one thing, how to maximize profit not only by increasing the price. Otherwise, see children, in your mind it may come, it is too easy. Just increase the rate of the product or service, your profit maximization is achieved. No, there are other aspects also we are going to see in detail which affects the price. So profit maximization talks about reducing the waste, reducing the cost of raw material, reducing on the cost of processes, the operations you are doing on a particular product. So for that there exists one department called as Research and Development Department, which are dealing in reducing the cost price. So automatically by keeping the second option, price stability, open, we can maximize our profit. I hope up till now you are getting it. That's what. Hope you all have understood the meaning of pricing, the introduction to the objectives of pricing. I told you that in detail we are going to see the different objectives of pricing, okay, which were enlisted in the previous slide. In detail we will see what was the target return, then what was the profit maximization, then what is the market share, all those objectives in detail we are going to learn. So dear all, we are heading towards end of the chapter. One more lecture I think it will take to conclude the lesson. So up till now, if you have at all not understood any concept, any small concept, please feel free to ask me. Because if you keep that particular question or concept as it is, it will remain forever as it is. If you ask, I will try to solve it. I will try to convey you what it means, a particular question or query, and then you will be cleared with that particular concept. So definitely come up with your whatever the things are there, questions or queries, please feel free to ask me. So let us conclude. Thank you very much all for viewing this lecture. And the assignment is waiting for you. Thank you. Bye bye for now. Take care.